Time to sit here awkwardly and guess how long it's going to take for Twitch to catch up with the screen capture. What are we at? 15 seconds. We'll call it good. Hello there. I'm EnviroBoy. This is my channel, and we are doing some world raiding like we always do at this time. Yeah. It's a Tuesday, which is a pretty good day as far as days of the week go. But I don't know what else there's to say about it. It's not a special Tuesday, just a regular old Tuesday. I always think it's kind of interesting how it's like the second work day of the week is like Tuesday. Get it? Like two. I don't know. It's an erroneous connection that probably doesn't make any sense and isn't all that clever to point out. But hey, there we go. Anywho, gotta get ourselves some writing going here. And I guess it is kind of an exciting Tuesday just because... No, come here, you. There we go. Because when we're thinking about this project that we're working on, we've been working on random tables for quite some time. And we are at the point now where we only have one set of random tables left to make, which is our forest tables. We have done plains, we've done surface mountains, we've done mountain underground tunnels, and that leaves us forest. And that'll pretty much cover everything that we have to worry about on our region map here, right? Because we've got our plains, we've got our mountains above and below, and then we've just got our little corner of forest up here. And that's kind of fun and exciting. I'm kind of stoked about it. Yeah, I mean, I have thought a little bit about whether or not I would want to do anything specific for water travel, like water encounters, but I don't think there's enough to justify that. I mean, we got a big lake here, but when you think about the size of the lake being compared to, it's maybe about maybe like 3 times the size of what the city would be. It's a substantial lake, but that's not big enough that there would be any sort of long-term travel happening over it. So I just don't know that there's a need for random tables. You know, we might have dungeons and instances and stuff that happen on or near the water, but in those situations they're going to be the destination, and all that information is going to be included with our actual dungeon notes and everything. So I just don't know that it's necessary to do random tables there, so I'm not going to, which means that we've really only got one set of random tables, so that's exciting and fun. So what we need to do is, first off, let's copy this. So we have our 2 copies of everything. Actually, no, we're not going to do that yet. I lied. Actually, it'll be easier to just do the undo button. Oh my goodness gracious. Undo. Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think that's where we want it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to keep our, we're only going to do the 1 here because we're going to copy it once we get all of the random encounters, since they'll stay the same between night and day. The difference between those is non-existent between night and day, which goes a little bit against the old saying, but it's irrelevant anyway, and I don't know why I brought it up, so, there we go. Just going to copy this for the sake of formatting, put that right there, and we're going to call this forest, daytime, and then, and then we're going to just, for a little bit of ease, let's come on down here a little bit, paste that, and we're gonna call this, oops, actually we can save the nighttime there and make this forest nighttime. Hey Omega, yeah, that's what we're starting off with. We're gonna start with our random monster encounters for the forest. So critters might be a generous term though. Honestly, they're probably gonna be a little bit more I'm gonna say aggressive than a standard forest critter, but we'll kind of see what comes up. I haven't actually spent a whole lot of time thinking about what sort of aesthetic I want to see in the forest for this region. I've been caught up thinking about the mountains for so long at this point in time that I haven't considered much about the forest. I know the forest in terms of any sort of sentient enemies that exist in the forest. I'm leaning towards the drow side of things. It's pretty standard and cliched, but it works, right? It works there, and they have a solid established presence in dark, corrupted forests and stuff like that. Yeah, that's right. Get your monster manuals ready, kiddos. We're going on a monstrous adventure. That's the name of the game today, for sure. For sure. But yeah, let's get on with it here. There we go. Okay. So if we want these things here, I need to get my bearings here. We gotta set some stuff up here. So we're gonna start with our level 1s, of course. Nope, sources are good. Instead of underground, we're just gonna go straight forest. Just gonna go straight forest. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And let's just start doing our random easies like I do, our random ones, and just see what kind of comes up and see what strikes my fancy. That's usually the best way to kind of get my creative juices going in terms of what do I want to see. Ravens and giant rats, I'm actually on board with all of that. As far as like actual critters go, I think a very like, what's the term I'm looking for? Not quite fairy tale. Blink dogs. Yeah, blink dogs. Blink dogs are fun. I like blink dogs, but I always have to be careful because they're the type of thing that because I like them, I might overuse them. I just have to be careful with that. But what's the term I'm thinking of? It's not quite fairy tale. I guess maybe fairy tale, but fairy tales tend to have a more whimsical princess thing to them. I'm thinking like, I don't know, things like Sleepy Hollow and stuff like that. I don't know. That kind of aesthetic anyway, and I'm feeling that, and I think ravens work well. So let me just see how many ravens. Okay. So 7 ravens. That'll be a good one. That's a good one. Awakened trees. Oh yeah, awakened creatures would be a really good one. Those would be really, really good. Oh god, of course we're gonna do badgers. Badgers would be good. Just generally speaking, I feel like the aesthetic that I want to go for here, at least what I've thought about, what limited I've thought about, is I want to keep away from lighthearted whimsical creatures, because this is more of like a corrupted forest type of thing. So just like monsters and creatures that have kind of a more aggressive aesthetic to them. Wolves, werewolves would be good. Like I say, like ravens and badgers, things that are not commonly associated with fun, fancy, carefree. That's kind of where my head's at right now. But we'll kind of see how things progress. I'm thinking a swarm of bats is good. I think that'll fit just fine with what I'm thinking in my head. Lizards, see, even a lizard feels almost a little too like. When I think lizards, I think like sunny, warm environments. So I don't know that a lizard is going to be exactly what I'm looking for. Zombies would fit. It's not the worst idea. Giant weasel, hyena. What forest has hyenas? What a strange assumption. Flying snakes. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the giant rat. I think the giant rat is about kind of along the lines of what I'm looking for. I like the twig blight as well. But I feel like I want to lean on just like standard animals for these early levels. So it's almost like if players were to right away go into it, they would almost be sort of disarming how normal all the enemies are. Constrictor snakes, not a bad idea. I don't know how I feel about snakes in this part of the forest, truthfully. I mean, logically, snakes exist in the forest for sure, but I don't know how I'm feeling about that. Well, I'm gonna let that one ruminate a little bit before I commit to it. I do like the idea of giant frogs, though. I like the idea of a giant frog just sitting there and trying to consume one of the players. I think that sounds hilarious. Just like a tongue, just like just grabs one of them and brings them back. Let's see here, 3 giant frogs. No, not bandits. Regular bats. How many bats would it take to get to medium? Could do 10. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. Giant wasp. Possibly. I'm trying to avoid, I think part of it is I'm trying to avoid creatures that would be active in more like daytime sunlight settings, because I'm thinking this forest is going to be a lot more, like I just kind of have in my head visions of making this more of like a Mirkwood type of situation where it's very dark, very gloomy, very grim going throughout it. I mean, we're talking about a forest that is corrupted by all kinds of strange, bizarre magics. Grix, possibly. Hold on, let me take a look again. Like, sometimes just looking at a picture will sort of impact how I'm feeling about something. So let's see, what do the Grix look like? Yeah, giant worm buddies. I would lean more towards a Grick than I would snakes if I want some sort of like slimy, wormy looking thing. I would lean more towards that. That's not bad. What's their challenge rating? Challenge 2. They're more likely to pop up at later levels. Yeah, see, like a panther, I'm not feeling it. This is less tropical, more of like a coniferous type of situation. So, yeah, poisonous. A twig blight might be good. What exactly? I mean, logically, I think twig blights would be good. Harpies wouldn't be bad. I'd go for harpies. Especially since we have established them as being present in the mountains. I would buy that, like, especially on the outskirts of the forests, that there'd be some harpies that have set up camp in the woods. I'd be on board with that. Twig blight. Let me see. How do they design the twig blights? Yeah, for sure. So like exactly like this, freaking Groot-looking things. Twig blights, I'm all about. I think those are exactly the kind of aesthetic I'm looking for here. 5 twig blights. We need one more medium here. Yeah, let's throw some giant rats at them. Why not? Rat. And now we need 2 hard battles. Fairy dragon. I kind of want to stay away from the dragons in this one. We've already thought about the dragons existing. The dragons existing in the plains, and I feel like having too many dragons changes the nature of kind of how I'm feeling this campaign. I don't know. I don't want this campaign to focus on dragon politics alone. UNTs aren't bad, but there we go. There's your blink dog. How many blink dogs does it take to get the center of a Tootsie Pop? Okay, 4 blink dogs. Yeah, let's do the blink dogs. Let's do the blink dogs because you can almost flavor them as like blink wolves, and I think that would make I think that would fit the aesthetic really well. And in fact, that would be freaking terrifying for a group to be hunted by wolves that can just kind of disappear and reappear in different random places. So I think that's exactly what I'm looking for here. So yeah, exactly. They like. I mean, I think it's. I wouldn't even say they seem magical. I think there's something magical kind of about them, and it like really fits with the world that I have, where magic just kind of does its own thing. What do the Vegapygmies look like? I forget. Vegapygmy. Okay, why can't I spell it right? Vegapygmy. Okay. Oh, because it ends with a Y, not an E. That was silly of me. Vegapygmy. What do these guys look like again? That's right. They're the little like spore-looking guys. I'd buy Vegapygmies being around. I think that seems right. I think that seems about right. Very, very like Pan's Labyrinth. That's like kind of another good aesthetic of kind of what I'm thinking of with all those nighttime scenes that you see. I think that's a good description of kind of what I have in my brain space. So 5 Vegapygmies are deadly. Pygmy. There we go. Cool. Alright, so there's our level 1s. Let's do our level 2s. Boom, quick and easy. The more we do this, the quicker and easy, the easier it seems to be to just kind of go through these and get the system going here. Which is one of the things that's really nice about having a system in place for how you go about writing your stuff. The more you work with a system, the easier it is to... Ooh, a needle blight's a good one. The easier it is to just sort of get your system going and produce what you're trying to produce here. 3 needle blights.
So that they're aware of what they're doing and
blight though, so I don't get confused if I try to search for it. Lizard folk. I could see lizard folk kind of existing in here, but if I'm avoiding the lizards and generally speaking sentience beyond drow, then I think the lizard folk wouldn't be quite what I'm looking for here. Boggle or Knoll Witherling. They're gnolls. I'm not feeling gnolls. Boggle. I don't know. Let's just see if it sparks anything in me. I'm not feeling it. Yeah. I don't know. Like they're not a terrible choice for the aesthetic. But I don't know. I kind of want to stick with the more plant-looking ones. I almost feel like that's more to the point. They use dinosaurs. I'm more than happy to use dinosaurs, but typically speaking, if I'm going to use dinosaurs, I kind of stick to exclusively dinosaurs and lean heavily into it. Is sort of my thing. So it's like, I do use them, but it's usually a very intentional thing that I'm going for. Just because I think the nature of dinosaurs being in there sets such a specific tone. Like, it really sets that very clear, specific Jurassic Park tone in all of our brains. You know, so if I'm gonna use dinosaurs, I kinda want it to be like that whole region or that whole campaign is just all dinosaurs, so that you can really lean into that aesthetic and not have sort of like, and not confuse the mental pictures that your players are trying to produce and think about for it. That's my thing with the dinosaurs. So I'm probably gonna stick away from them from the forest for this campaign. I also kind of just in my mind don't know how well dragons and dinosaurs would coexist. So it's like if I have, you know, I'm not doing dragons in the forest, but we have, you know, we know we're using dragons to the point that I'm probably using a dragon as the potential big bad for the whole campaign that we're doing here. I struggle to see how a dinosaur and a dragon would like coexist. I don't know. It's probably a weird, erroneous thing, but I think it just kind of, like, more than anything, I think it just kind of hammers home what I'm saying about how, let's do the Vegapygmies here, about how if you have too many confusing, conflicting aesthetics, it can be hard to paint a clear picture for your players. Wow, I cannot type today. Pygmy. Cannot type today, he says, as if that's not the issue that he has every day. Oh yeah, owlbears. I would use an owlbear. I would use an owlbear. The bears kind of fit the forest aesthetic I'm looking for here. So that's a good option when we get to that level. Yeah, let's use our twig blights again. I like the twig blights. 5. Twig blight. Alright, okay, let's get some mediums going here. Needle blights. Ooh, actually, you know what? I'm going to use the wolves because we haven't established wolves yet, but I actually would really like there to be packs of wolves that roam around in this forest. Because that way we can establish the potential reality that werewolves would make sense in this area. And I like the idea of werewolves in here. Like I said, I'm kind of almost feeling like a classic, you know, like classic scary story, scary story, like movie monster type things, werewolves, like the Frankenstein aesthetic. Like that's kind of where I'm leaning, combined with, like I say, the Mirkwood type of setting, where it's just like a really dark wood. That kind of the fear factor of this area comes from the fact that you can't see jack throughout all of it. I'm not feeling any of those. No. Twig blight or a warg? Warg might be good. Let me see. How do I feel when I look at a warg? Yeah. Not opposed to wargs. I guess the problem I have with wargs is, like, they're almost too visually similar to wolves for me. So I'd almost like to just stick with one or the other, you know? I don't know. I'm gonna refrain from the wargs for now, just because also because we've already got so many different types of creatures established as being present here, that we can stick with them and have plenty to work with. So, because the other thing that's nice too about if we kind of restrain ourselves during the random tables, it gives us more opportunities for like special, unique monsters that exist in the dungeons once we make them. You know, like if we have more options that way, especially for the lower level ones. So that way when they go through like a level 1 dungeon, you know, and get to like whatever the big bad is supposed to be there, like, you know, level 1 we have, you know, for a big bad, what, your CR can get up to like 2. So we don't want to use up all of them that would be reasonable within an area. So that way you can still have something that feels unique and special, right? Because it gets kind of old for players if it's always the same, you know, stuff, especially if you're in a dungeon. It feels anticlimactic. So if you can give them some unique creatures that only exist in a dungeon but still aesthetically match, then hey, you know, extra great, awesome. Okay, why not swarm of bats? Let's see, how many swarm of bats would it be hard for them to fight? 7. Okay, why not? Swarm of bats. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, and then another hard one. I'd say, again, I'd go for the spiders, but I guess what I'm feeling with the spiders is whenever we establish like a dungeon or a location for them to be in, something that's more enclosed is what I'd feel with the spiders. A satyr. Okay, we could throw a Mr. Tumnus in there. We could have them have to deal with Mr. Tumnus, that kidnapping son of a bitch. But I'm not feeling it. Brown bear. Let's do the brown bear because that can lend itself well to owl bears at some point. Okay, so 3 would be deadly. Let's do that. Brown bear. And then we still need a random hard one. Darkling elders? No, not the darklings. We kind of discussed possibly throwing darklings into this one before. And I leaned away from it just because I would prefer to stick with drow and dwarves. Or drow and Duragard specifically. Dryad might be good though. How do they compare in terms of appearance? Yeah, I'd go for a dryad. A dryad would be fun. Dryad would be really interesting to see how they handled it. Can we okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see about, yeah, let's do dryads as one of the hard ones for level 3. Let's do that. Because dryads fit kind of the sentient plant theme that is a pretty strong part of what we're working on here right now. So I think that'd be good. Ogre. Bugbear? No, I guess not. Pixie? No, a little too whimsical. Giant frog, that's a good one. It's a good one. It's classic. It's trustworthy. You can go with it. You can always trust a giant frog. Well, I mean, you can always trust a giant frog to be a giant frog. Yeah, that's you're absolutely right, Omega. They don't have to fight dryads. That's the fun part about adding things that are maybe somewhat sentient or not a baseline aggressive, right? So like the giant, the ravens, the giant toads and frogs and stuff like that. That's the other kind of fun part about that is it's a potential combat encounter, but it doesn't have to be. Like, it doesn't rely on it to be one. They can choose to sort of role play and act out how that would go. So yeah, and like a dryad is really good with that. Excuse me, because a dryad might talk back. Like, I mean, you know, both in terms of sassy and in terms of just saying, like, they might communicate back with you. But yeah, a dryad is a good fit for that. I agree. Like, for the most part in my world, when you're out in the wilds, you're not going to come across too much in the way of, like, a sentient civilization or something like that. But for, like, a fey creature or something like that, those are fairly likely for players to come across them because they would be, like, displaced through a tear in reality. So it doesn't really, their existence doesn't have to rely or coincide with a realistic, like, city or what, you know, humans might want to do or not do in this world and stuff like that. Like, you can have a bit more freedom with that. So those ones are good. Let's see here. So we'll do swarm of bats again. Sprite. Yeah, a can of soda comes out and just whacks them upside the head. So funny. So funny. It would be kind of funny if just like a random aluminum can came out and hit them and added to the confusion because they're medieval. Like, what the fuck would they know about an aluminum can? What do the sprites look like? Basically little fairies. Yeah, I don't know. They're not terrible, but they're a little more whimsical than what I'm looking for here. So I'm gonna lean away from them. Boar might work. Yeah, let's do boars. Let's do boars. I'm on board. I'm on board with that. Did you see what I did there? I did. I saw what I did there. But yeah, we can do some boars. That would be good. What a boar. So funny. Ooh, there we go. Let's get our blink dogs in there again. It's been a minute since we've seen them. 4 blink dogs. Yeah, wereboars. That's... I like the wereboar. I like that in general. They have were versions of just about every creature. I think that's fun because I always kind of thought that it was strange that, like, within folklore, wolves got like special treatment in terms of being able to, like, have a half human, half wolf, like, monster or something like that. I've always thought, like, why only wolves? Why not have someone who, you know, when the full moon strikes, turns into half people, half, I don't know, crow or something like that, like a were-crow. Like, why only the wolves? Why only the wolves? So I always appreciate when they offer up other options. Thorny. Those are kind of like the blights, right? Let's see here. So I'm assuming that since they have the exact same picture, the Thorny is going to be like this mount thing for the Vegapygmy. In which case, I am totally on board with that. I think that's great. I love it. 2 Thornies. 2 Thorny. So you 2 Thorny. Alright, let's get our mediums going. Yeah, why not? Let's do some direwolves. Direwolves are good. Direwolves are fun. Okay, well, we're gonna have to bump that up to one of our other hard ones, but that's fine. That is okay, because we needed that anyway. Owlbear, there we go. There's our owlbears. 1 is easy, and then 2 are deadly, though. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and use the 2 owlbear. We'll do that. I like the uncomfortable insinuation about what you'd be walking in on if you find 2 and only 2 owlbears in the forest. I mean, I'd be pissed and attacking travelers if they interrupted me at that time. Just, you know, if I'm gonna offer up a little bit of sympathy and understanding here, you know. I'd be upset about it. Probably playing poker. Exactly. And you don't, like, I'd be irritated if someone came in and distracted me from my focus while I was trying to achieve that. You know, or they might be, the two of them might be cleaning together, obviously. And I'd be really mad if a bunch of strangers came in and started kicking up all the dust that I was trying to sweep. So yeah, I can imagine that two owlbears alone in a forest with no one else around doing owlbear things. I can imagine they'd be very irritated for those reasons. I don't know, it just seems like a no-brainer to me. Yeah, I didn't think of Displaced Beast. Sure, why not? More Blink Dogs. I'm on board with it. Go. An ape. Not quite. But we'll do black bears. They don't all gotta be brown. They could be black bears too. I'd be okay with pretty much any colored bear, except for maybe a polar bear. That doesn't make sense. That would be weird. 4 black bears. I guess actually I should really amend that. Any normal bear color. It'd be weird and take a lot of explaining why there was like a bright yellow bear, right? Or a green bear. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's like an army of gummy bears. Like life-sized ones walking around. Koala bear? I'd be on board with koala bears. I'd put them in here. Wouldn't make any sense, but I'd put them in there just because they're so cute. I mean, come on, their little noses. I mean, are you kidding me with that? They're adorable. Alright, we need to do our level 4s here. Let's see here. I'd put pandas in there too. I'd be on board with it. Oh yeah, we can do our dryads again. 3 dryads. Next. Dryad. Dryads are a lot easier to reason with because they tend to be much more ornery than their counterparts, the wet ads. When they're the wet ads, they're very irritated and just generally like cold and with shivers and stuff. But as soon as they're dryads, they're much easier to please and much easier to talk to. So I've noticed in my life. You know, I don't know. Maybe other people have different experiences. I don't like any of these. Come on now. Okay, fine. More black bears. Why not? Why not? Alright, 4 of them are easy. Black bear. Basilisks. We could do basilisks. Do I want to have my players be at risk of being turned to stone? The other thing too is we've kind of established that I don't really want lizards here, and that's kind of what a basilisk is. I'm gonna skip the basilisk. God, I don't like any of these. Okay, giant bat. Hell yeah. Giant bat made of aluminum. It really hurts to get hit in the head with it. I am on a roll with the puns today. Didn't even know. You guys had no idea that you'd be hearing this many pun-believable jokes when you showed up. I mean, you knew that some of them would be coming because it's me, but you had no idea the degree to which I'd be punting all over the place here. 7 needle blades. Needle blicht. There we go. Okay, we need our mediums. Hey, there we are. There's our werebores. What were we just talking about? But I can't really use them here. We gotta wait till we're at a different level for it to be easier to get our proper balance with them here. Do I want grungs? Let me see. Do I want a grung? I mean, look at them. They're like little frog people. They're so cute. Other than those weird, creepy-ass teeth. But other than that, they're adorable. Yeah, I think I will do. I think I will do grungs. Because I like the idea of grungs using giant toads and giant frogs as mounts. I think that'd be hilarious. Hilarious and kind of weird, right? It'd be like me. I mean, maybe not so weird. Maybe I guess that would be kind of like if I had a pet gorilla that would let me like ride piggyback on it or something. That's not super weird. Like I'd do that and I'd have fun with that. I'd ride my silverback steed into battle and I would let him smash things and throw poop at them. And it would be both damaging and demoralizing. I'm on board with it. Do you guys think it's possible for me to get a silverback gorilla as a pet? That sounds awesome the more I think about it. I mean, not realistically, but for the sake of a joke, it's great. For the sake of filling up silent radio space, it'd be perfect. I mean, what more could you want? Giant goat, fuck that shit. That's way too mundane. That's like if you're traveling through farmland. Although actually that would be terrifying too. Just like a giant goat. Like a goat the size of a horse. Just like eyeing you with those crazy goat eyes that they all have. That would be upsetting. I would be uncomfortable in that scenario. Giant toads. Let's go with the hards now. It's so hard. Satyr, a whole army of Mr. Tumnus. I can think of very few things that would be as unsettling. Like I'd certainly rather face brown bears than an army of Mr. Tumnus. Brown bear. I feel like I make fun of Mr. Tumnus all the damn time on this stream. I feel like he's really the butt of a lot of my jokes. If you can call them that. Dryad. But I mean, come on. He's a creepy son of a bitch and he kidnaps a child. And he's all like, oh, boo-hoo, I didn't have a choice. It's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You absolutely 100% could have accepted your own punishment for not kidnapping a child. But you chose to kidnap the child. Alright, so you live with that. You live with it. God, give me something I can work with here. Shadow Mastiff? It's not bad. That's kind of along the same lines as like the Blake dogs, where I could just kind of flavor it to be a wolf. So it's like a different version of wolves that they could encounter. How over the top is that for? That's pretty good actually. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Shadow Mastiff Alpha. That's good. That's good. Man, we are cruising through this. We are cruising through it. And I'm about it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Because the more we get this stuff filled out, right? The more I'm working on these random tables, the more I'm getting a clearer picture in my brain of what this region looks like and what types of missions and dungeons would exist in this world, right? And how they would pan out and what it would be like for players to travel through these areas. Like, I'm getting a much better idea. Like, you know, just looking at the map here, let's just pause. We're making so much good progress. Like, just thinking about the map here. Like, I just have, like, I'm getting such clear visions of players walking along this pathway, right? And, like, they can see off in the horizon to the left some of the peaks of the mountains, you know, off to the east there as they're going. And the plains are in front of them. And it's like, it gives you this... Like, for me, I'm just a very visual person. Like, I can close my eyes and get pretty clear pictures. So it's like I can see to myself, like, as they're going through these plains, right? Like, they have, like, you know, it's perpetually those days just because of the darkness that exists in the forest and over the mountains. Like, it's constantly like those days where it's like, you know, you can imagine those days where you see a dark storm rolling in fast, right? But it's like, it's the evening. So, like, the light is like, it's still sunny where you are, but if you look overhead and, you know, off in the opposite direction of the sun, you can see like these dark clouds, this like looming ominous thing. And so I just kind of have in my mind this image that whenever they're traveling through the plains, that's just kind of constantly what it is. You know, there's this constant sense of foreboding that exists because of the nature of what these mountains and what this forest is like. right? So like they're every day that they're traveling, they can kind of see this looming thing, and then I can imagine them sort of like having to resign themselves and accepting that, you know, in order to progress this mission, right, to be able to cut a deal and make it past this dragon that they're, at the time anyways, not at all equipped to fight, right? So if they're trying to get past him, they have to find a different way to do it, and so they wind up, you know, having to walk into that darkness, right, and getting to the mountains, and then realizing they have no idea where to go, and they need to start searching for an entrance into the mountain caverns that were once dwarven homes but are now Duergar, right? So I can just kind of imagine creating a campaign around this where the players have a map. You know, they might be able to find, you could offer up as sort of like a random encounter or something like that, or as a clue somewhere if they do their research, an ancient map that shows where the dwarves might have had their major cities in here or there, but it's been so long that the pathways to get there aren't clearly marked anymore. So it's like they have to travel. If they know that there's a dwarven city, say over in this region, right, they start having to, they're working from the forward base, and so they start just having to trek their way across the plains, and they get to the mountains, and they basically just have to wander around the mountains hoping to find a pathway that eventually leads them into the mountains, right? So I can kind of imagine this situation where it's like they can find a pathway, you know, and they can trek their way along following that pathway that then gets to the mountains. And so then they have to search around the mountainous foothills to try and find an old pathway, right? And so it's like they can travel around, and maybe they kind of carve their way in towards this way along the foothills until they find like carved ancient stone steps that will then lead them up and into the mountains. That's like an ancient pathway that the dwarves would use to then enter the mountains. And then they finally find an entrance to the mountains and then have to travel around through the network of dwarven mines to eventually get to the city or something like that, where they'd find the Duergar. And it's just like I'm starting to get these clear visions and ideas about what I want this campaign to look like and how it would look and how it would feel to be an adventurer in it, right? And that's like such an important part of the process, is getting that strong mental image, or at least for me it's an important part of it. So that way when I start creating things, I have a strong idea of what the environment's going to be like for players, and that really informs what types of creatures and what types of dungeons there are going to be, right? So you can imagine like these dungeons, which are these like ancient dwarven cities that like may or may not be overrun with Duergar, and because of that they may or may not be friendly places for the players to be, depending on how they're handling these more social interactions. You know, and I can see that same thing going on with the forest, like them trying to find a safe, clear-cut way to get through the mountains and then get to the forest so that they can do something, you know, to cut deals with the drow or whatever. But it's like the drow, like for me, the way I'm seeing it now, the way I'm thinking about it is the drow kind of moved into the forest after all of this, and this forest was never inhabited by elves, so they really have no idea where to begin. So it kind of turns into this situation where they just have to start randomly carving their way through the forest to try and figure out and make sense of where these drow would be. And they essentially just kind of have to wander through until the drow approach them, you know, or something like that. Or they could do research to try and figure out what would be a good way to attract the attention of drow or whatever. But it's just like the point is, as we're making these tables and as we're discussing and letting ourselves sort of settle into this map, this region, it's getting easier and easier to sort of let my mind's eye have a clear understanding of what's in this region, which is why, you know, I say it like every time, but it's why to me it's so important to take a moment, you know, take the time that it takes to set up these random tables. As long and tedious as the process is, this is why it's so important, because it just gives us such a clear, or rather it gives us a much more clear foundation of what this region is that then turns into the rest of the campaign, right? And it adds, and it gets you excited about it too, right? Because you're sitting there, you're writing things, and you're like kind of getting on more and more ideas, and you're like, oh man, I really want to slam these ideas down and get them cemented in. Right, I want to start building all kinds of, you know, stuff based on all these ideas I'm having, and it just kind of builds and grows that way. So I don't know. It's good. It's good. I'm feeling. I don't feel any sort of. I don't feel bogged down, or I don't feel impatient about the amount of time it takes to do these things. Because to me, it's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. That's why I always kind of say to people, it's really good to sort of embrace the tedium, the slowness of the process, right? Unless you're in a situation where you have to provide deliverables by a certain date. So it's like, which is why I enjoy this as a hobby, but I don't know if I would really actually want to try and make a living as a writer trying to produce these campaigns, right? Because it would be such a different process and such a different mindset to do these with, deadlines and deliverables looming over your head, right? Because for me, creative process is definitely something that you can't passively let happen, right? Like I talk about that all the time too. You can't just wait for inspiration to strike, but at the same time, there's a certain amount of truth behind the fact that creation and imagination kind of operate on their own time, at their own pace, right? So it's like sitting down and getting to work like this is an important part of it, but once you're doing it, right, things are going to move at their own pace, and as long as they're moving, I consider it good, right? You have to force the movement to start, but once it's there, it's best to just let it take the time it's going to take, or at least the way I create things. So that's how we end up in it, and that's why I absolutely love this process. I love sitting here and doing this, and it's so cool to me that people are interested and like to tune in to these streams that I do, because the fact is I'd be doing this anyway, but it's so fun to sit here and like discuss ideas. I love when people share their ideas with me and all that kind of stuff. I think it just makes it a really fun process for me as someone who is creative, to see and converse with people who have that same creative instinct inside of them. I think it's so much fun. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in an extra good mood today. What does a mean lock look like? I don't really remember those. But yeah, I guess I'm just in a good mood today. Yeah. See, a mean lock is almost a little too human fly for what I'm looking for in this thing. So let's do something different. Oh yeah, we'll do awakened trees. There we go. There you go, Omega. Got your awakened trees in here. 3 awakened trees. Boom. I love it. I love the idea of a forest that's alive around you, and like is always watching you even when you're not aware of them watching you. I think that is such a fun, creepy setting. I really enjoy it. 7 dire wolves. Small mediums. No. Flail snail. I just think those is more of a cave type of creature, but that's okay. Shadow Mastiff Alpha. Yeah, we can do that. Looking for one more medium here. 3 Shadow Mastiff Alpha. It's an alpha. Alright, and let's get our hard stuff. Let's find the hard ones. I need to find some hard ones. I don't know why that accent is stuck in my head today, but I keep thinking about that. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. There's no reason. There's no end to that statement. It's been happening. Awakened tree. I'm also really glad that I'm having some good inspiration and making some good progress on this early on this week, because it's looking more and more likely that, well, I know for a fact I won't be able to stream on Friday or Saturday of this week, and it's looking more and more like even Thursday might be out. I'm going to still try to stream Thursday, but it's going to be tough. Because as always, life gets busy. Life gets very busy. Especially in the summer after a pandemic, when everyone is so excited. I guess I shouldn't say after the pandemic. That's a little premature celebration. But within my social circles and like the company I keep and my families, we're all pretty on board with the whole vaccine stuff and being safe. And so with all of us sort of getting ourselves vaccinated, we are all very excited about the fact that we're at a point where we can, with reasonable comfort and safety, we can like do things like barbecues and fun gatherings. You know, this past weekend I was just at a wedding shower, and it was like, and I gotta say, as someone who's not like super into weddings in general, not because I like have any sort of cynical thing of, ooh, a corpse flower, that would be kind of fun. Definitely not appropriate to throw two of them at once at the party, but corpse flowers, as they show up later, they can do that. Oh wait, we need deadly though. But yeah, as someone who's not super in to the whole wedding thing, mostly just because I think for me what it is like, I know I definitely as an individual don't have much interest in having like a big wedding for myself if that day ever comes, which with my track record it won't, but you know, never say never. Ignoring my sad loneliness. You know, like I know for myself, it doesn't do much for me. Like parties in general don't do much for me. I'm someone who, like, the idea of just like a quiet, more personal event for any big life event, for me is more meaningful than doing some big giant thing. And that's just my style, right? So it's like, so the whole wedding culture and all that kind of stuff, it just kind of escapes me. It's not really my thing, but you know, and I'm offering a much bigger description of that than is necessary for the point I'm trying to make. Because the point I'm trying to make is, even as someone who doesn't much get into that, actually no, I don't want unicorns. Unicorns are a little too whimsical. I don't want them in here. It was still a really fun, nice event to sort of serve as a return to being able to see family and extended family. You know, because the thing of it is like, there, you know, even within my family that is largely on board with the vaccines and all that kind of stuff, there's a handful of them that, you know, you have the misfortune of learning over the course of the past couple years that they're maybe not quite so sensible about that stuff as I had thought. And that can be kind of a hard thing. I've sort of discussed it. I feel like it was one of my Mass Effect streams I was discussing it. It can be kind of a hard thing to wrestle with. I tend to take the stance of we have a choice to make when we learn that type of stuff about someone. Like when we learn that we fundamentally disagree with someone, you know, we have a choice to make as individuals. Do we let that destroy whatever relationship we've had? And I'm of the mindset of no. You know, everyone has lines, and so I'm not saying that any dissenting view that I have can be ignored for the sake of family. You know, there are limits. Like, I would not be cool with any family member that becomes overtly, you know, Nazi and gets swastika tattoos all over themselves and starts, you know, sending out Heil Hitlers as greetings in like a letter on a Christmas card or something like that. That would be too far for me. But like, in terms of those sort of personal agency things, for me, it's like I'm willing to ignore that, you know, maybe not even ignore it, but willing to be gentle and offer a certain degree of compassion about that stuff for the sake of, you know, family gatherings. In the sense of like, I might disagree with my aunt about the state of vaccines, but the fact is I still love my grandmother, who I agree with it, and my grandmother still loves my aunt, considering that my aunt is my grandmother's daughter, right? So it's like, the fact is I'm still going to have to see them in my life at some point in time. So I am willing to take the stance in those difficult situations of I will set aside my distaste for what I've learned about this, that, or the other individual, for the sake of making peace and having amicable, friendly family gatherings for the sake of grandma, right? And so again, another long-winded explanation to bring it back on point. That's the type of mentality that I have, but even so, it can be difficult to be able to feel comfortable with, someone you disagree with who just, by some sense of necessity is going to end up at a similar event to you. So there was something that was very nice about having a more joyful, joyous event, such as a wedding shower, as sort of our first introduction back into seeing people that we haven't seen in over a year, that I may now understand that I don't agree with them on a lot of important things. But like when you're sitting there, the wedding shower was for my cousin who, without going into too much family detail, it was a cousin of mine who, I guess to put it delicately, the delicate way to say it is, the way by which he was related to our family, that tie no longer exists due to deaths and misfortune, right? But he's still very much part of our family, if that makes any sense. But the fact is, like, he's had a rough go of it in a lot of ways, and so there was something very fun and happy and joyous to see him, enjoying such a cheerful thing and letting that be our sort of first hurrah back into large family gatherings after a year of not doing them, which for my family and my extended family is a very, very key component to our lives as a family. We're a very tight nip. Ugh, that's a. I don't want to talk about nips in family. We're a very tight knit family. Pig me. We're a very tight knit family, so not being able to do big family Christmases and stuff like that was tough for many of us. For me, not so much. I'm not, like I say, kind of the same as with weddings. I'm not big into that kind of stuff, but I know it's an important part to a lot of people I care about. So there was something that was just really, really nice about being able to have that be our return to these family gatherings. And I don't know how I got on this topic here, but I don't know. It was just, I guess it's just because it's a happy story that makes me happy that I can share it, right? I'm happy that things might be slowly getting back to a state of, man, I don't like any of these things. Hold on, we can figure something out here, though. Let's do some owlbears. Why not? 5 owlbears. Yeah, you want to talk about 2 of them being uncomfortable. How about 5 of them? But yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm just saying here is I'm happy, and or at least happy that we had that experience. And there's something really nice, and I guess like the big thing is too is I hope that other people are able to enjoy those types of stories themselves moving forward here. It's different in different locations based on availability of vaccines and people's compliance with them and all that kind of stuff, but it just, I don't know. I feel like in general things have been dark lately, in a lot of parts of the world, or at least I feel like things have felt that way, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. I think things feel darker than they necessarily are. I think that's a product of the fact that a lot of us have been stuck, forced to live electronically, if that makes sense, right? Like after a year of being on lockdowns and everything, we all kind of were forced to understand the world and interact with the world through the filter of what media curates for us, whether it's through online resources or television news sources or what have you. The fact is all of our interactions have been curated through the media, and the media will exaggerate this thing or that thing based on their target audience for the sake of convincing us that they have the best take on things. They're the ones who are going to tell you the truth or whatever, right? And so there's this very negative, alarmist tone about a lot of it. And so I think that's kind of forced things to feel very dark for quite some time. And I really hope that people moving forward, that we're getting close to, if not already reaching, really hope we're getting close to a time where people can start just like easily being happy again. You know, like, I don't know. Again, I don't know how I got on this topic. I don't remember, but I don't know. Whatever. It's my show, and I've talked about how I want it to be almost more like a podcast in essence, rather than me demonstrating how good I am at video games or whatever. But you know, I think it's okay to talk about these things, and I hope there's nothing particularly controversial about me saying it's going to be good when we don't have to be afraid to go outside anymore. You know, I really hope that people agree with me that that is a goal. It's a goal for us to get to a stage on Earth again, or a place on Earth again, where we don't see going outside and interacting with people as a terrifying prospect. It's just I don't think that's healthy. I really don't think it's healthy for us to live this way, you know. And I really hope people are. I really hope people are getting excited about returning to the world at some point in time, even if you're not ready to get there yet, right? Because a lot of that is, again, it's so dependent on what your personal comfort levels are and what those comfort levels are based upon, where you are, you know, geographically speaking, and how your communities and you know, and peers have handled things and are continuing to handle things. There's a whole lot that goes into it, so I think it's perfectly reasonable for people in the world to not be ready to return to the world. But I really hope people are feeling excited and ready for that time to come. I mean, I know I am, right? Like, you know, we're sitting here, like, I mean, for example, we're sitting here working on a D&D campaign, right? And I really hope that this is getting people excited for the fact that soon we'll be able to do our in-person D&D games again, right? If you're not already there, there's our werewolves. I was wondering when they were going to pop up. I want my werewolves. So I really hope people are getting excited for that. I really hope that people are able to find places of comfort where they can just feel good about being in the world again. Because I know I've spoken to some friends and family members who are still living with a sort of a sense of fear about that. You know, a sense of fear and concern about going back into the world, right? And I understand where it comes from. I don't necessarily think that's an unreasonable concern. You know, I get it. We've spent so much time getting used to, you know, being upset about people not wearing masks and stuff like that. So it's like, I get it, but I really hope people are excited to return to a life of just normally existing in public, you know, and not having to live in fear, you know, because I feel like there are some people, and you see a lot of these communities online in different chat rooms and forums and stuff like that. I think there are some people that are, they almost don't want to return back to life. And, you know, to each their own, I suppose, but I worry about the health of society if we continue to just live our lives through the filter of a screen, right? Through the filter of a news organization, through the filter of fucking, you know, even just the filter of Twitch or Reddit or whatever, right? Like, I don't want my conversations and working, you know, and coming in here and chatting with me while I'm sitting here writing D&D, I don't want that to be your only source of socialization. I think that online is a wonderful tool to meet and interact with communities that you wouldn't normally have access to, right? Like, I wouldn't normally even come close to having 50 people who would stop by and see what I'm writing and be able to offer ideas about what I'm writing and how we could improve it and how we can, you know, make the best D&D campaign for our players. What does an invisible stalker look like? Okay, I immediately recognized that was a stupid question. What does an invisible stalker look like? Well, presumably it would be invisible. But I want to see what, like, type of creature it's intended to be. Like, it's a monster. Yeah, so, okay, I'll throw an invisible stalker in there, because I feel like we're kind of in a place where there's forests just filled with all kinds of humanoid type creatures, and that's not actually serving what I'm trying to accomplish here. Okay, no, we can't use them for this one, though. But yeah, like, as much as I love being able to have this community and being able to build, like, a Discord server for discussing D&D stuff, as much fun as I have, you know, playing games with people to chat with while I'm doing it, as much as I love all of this, I really hope that this type of setting isn't your only interaction with the world, because I think one of the problems with it is when you find yourselves, you know, when any of us finds ourselves in an environment where we only speak with people who share our exact mindsets, right? And it's easy enough to find a specific forum, a specific website, a specific video channel, whatever, that really is just exactly dialed into exactly our beliefs about things. It's easy enough to find those, and while that's really nice, at the same time, that's not reality. The reality is there are all kinds of people that are super different than us, and I think it's healthy for us to interact with those different people. I think it's not good for us in terms of having a functional society to not have that sort of interaction with people that are different than us. There we go. And there are a couple reasons why I think that that's true. Like, I think there's a couple reasons for that not being a good thing. One, because we don't learn how to cooperate with each other, and that's half the reason why we're all so confrontational these days. Because we've kind of forgotten that sometimes you just have to cooperate with someone that you disagree with. That's just the way of the world. Sometimes you just have to do that. And it sucks, and it's a pain, especially when it's something that you drastically disagree on. But the fact is, it is a necessity sometimes. But the other thing about it, too, is I think that by not interacting with people who are different than us, we kind of forget the fact that people can be different than us, but we can still get along with them and still find a lot of common ground, right? There might be someone who in terms of the details of how we should or shouldn't handle gun control or whatever, I might disagree with them. They might have a looser take on what I think should be done within my country about gun control. But if that's the only thing we disagree on, but agree on a whole lot of other things, like, I don't have to hate that person. I don't have to think of them as a horrible person. They're a good person that I just happen to disagree with them on this one issue, And I think people would realize people will remember once we can kind of get back into society that that's kind of the case for most of us. Most of us are just people getting through life who have opinions and are willing to, agree to disagree on many of those issues, because ultimately we're not that different from each other. That's just the state of the world. That's just how the world is. And so, I don't know. I want to get back to that state. I think that having to interact with people that you just like cross paths within the world is how we as humans sort of learn to be cooperative individuals. And I think, part of the reason that we are seeing so many conflicts happening right now is because people are just not getting that practice at cooperating. Obviously some issues are going to be more drastic, more severe than just not cooperating, but I don't know. It's a very complicated concept, but really the upshot and what I'm trying to get at here is I really think it's going to be good when we can all finally go back outside again. And it was like I had such a good experience being able to sort of get a taste of that again this past weekend, and I really hope I'm not the only one in the world who's excited and happy about that. As introverted and preferring my alone time as I am, it was really nice to go to a wedding shower and just share a couple hours of happiness with some family members that I haven't seen in over a year, right? Like, it was a good thing. It was a really good thing, and I hope other people get to have those good things in their lives again going forward. God, I have no idea how I got on this topic. I have no idea how I got to a point where I had a half-hour long rant about a wedding shower. No idea where that came from, but I don't know. It's true, right? God, I'm running out of things that I can use in my forest here. We're looking for hard. Here we go. We need things that are hard. Awakened tree. There we go. I used up all my rant energy, and now I don't have anything to say, so I'm just going to sit here in awkward silence. It's like, wow, what a terrible channel. Why would anyone want to watch this? It doesn't make any sense. It's just garbage. Okay, what's a Razor Blast look like again? I think Razor Blasts are a humanoid, aren't they? Yeah. Call it a monster, but it's just like a, yeah, medium humanoid. Yeah. I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Veg Pygmy Chief? Yeah, why not? Yeah. So next. Veg Pygmy Chief. Chief? Veg Pygmy Chief. One of my hobbies is just like randomly saying things completely inappropriately as far as phonetics go. Shusuva. What do these guys look like again? I don't remember these guys. Oh yeah, the weird like wolf things. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. Let's do the Shusuvas. They're pretty wolf-like, so they're just like more corrupted, nasty wolves. I don't know. Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough on the adjusted XP. It's moving. It's kind of getting up there, but I think players could handle 2 of them. Shusuva. Oh, not. There we go. Yeah, I think a group of level 8 characters can handle that. Easy. No. Okay. All right. Yeah, and we're going right back into this issue. Yeah, I think the problem I'm running into right now is like everything in the forest is sentient. Like everything is just like a form of, you know, orc or UNT. Like the playable races. And the only one that I really want to have in there are drow. Oops, wait, hold on. We need 7 of these. Let me just see something here. Hold on a second. I want to see something. I want to see something. Did I call them drow in D&D lore? I forget. Yeah, they do. Okay. So, the drow. What kind of environments do they put them in? Are they considered forest? Or are they just like pure Underdark? Like, why are we not encountering any of these guys? Yeah, they only put them in the Underdark, which for me, I don't like that. I feel like that's a little too limited, and I think that the drow, considering that they're like corrupted elves almost, like I think it's much more interesting for them to just live in a very dark forest. And that's why we're not running into any of them. And largely I'm okay with that, actually, for the reasons that I've stated before about how it's nice to sort of save. It's nice to sort of save them. The creatures that I'm going to use as like our big bads and like our actual sentient enemies, it's nice to save them for the dungeons. It would be kind of nice if they could potentially show up. It's a Korrid. I don't remember these guys. It'd be nice if they could pop up randomly, but I don't have a problem. Oh god, it's like an extra ugly tumness. No, I'm not feeling it. But yeah, see, it's like all the turtles and the UNTs and the bugbears. And it's like I don't want to break my theme. I need actual monsters here. Stiff. I think part of it also might just be like the random selection bias, because one thing that'll definitely happen is because they do so many different versions of all these humanoids, because they do so many different versions of all of them, you end up in, you know, where it's like, yeah, so we've got lizard folk shamans. How many other different types of lizard folks? So it's like one roll has 5 chances of getting a lizard folk as opposed to just 1 chance, whereas there's only 1 thorny, right? So it's kind of like, you know, you get kind of that random bias. Displacer Beast. Displacer Beast might be appropriate. I don't know. Just for the sake of trying to fill up our things here. Yeah, see, they're more panther-like. I don't Really want them in this forest, honestly. It's just they're more of a panther type creature. They're more of a rainforest than a coniferous forest creature, as far as I'm concerned. Some poison snakes, giant toads. How many giant toads would it take to be? Could do dire wolves. Let's try the dire wolves. How many would that take? 7. Okay, yeah, we can get away with that. That works. That works. We're just trying to, right now at this point in time, we're just trying to fill it out, honestly. Just trying to get it, get our table filled up here. Grung wildlings, sure. It's gonna take a lot of them. We might be able to get a medium out of it. Nope, not quite. Not quite. Never mind. Come on. See, I see. Like there are 2 different types of orcs. It doesn't help. Ankegs. I've worked with them before. I feel like they're... Yeah, they're like the bug type ones. I'm not really feeling the bug critters, truthfully. Burrow shark, UNT nightmare, giant boar. Could probably get a medium out of giant boars. Yeah, okay, that'll work. We'll do it. Giant boars are not a boar. Traditional flame please, ghouls, winter wolf. Okay, I've been avoiding the winter wolves, but we can just use winter wolves and just flavor them as standard wolves. Why not? And they're just like extra deadly difficult ones, right? Because they are giant, right? Like that's kind of their thing. They're these huge wolves, if I'm remembering properly. Arctic dwelling. Yeah, large monstrosity is what they are. So like I've been kind of avoiding them, but like why not? Why not? There's like a particularly giant timber wolf or something that exists. I don't know. Oh wait, hold on. We need mediums. That's probably part of my issue. Is I'm using the wrong thing. Werewolves, there we go. We can use werewolves. 4 werewolves. Or werewolves, not swearwolves. It's like my favorite rendition of werewolves in what was it called? What We Do in the Shadows. Is that the name of the show? I think that's the name of the show. I love those guys. Please enjoy your spaghetti. Enjoy your spaghetti. So good. Owlbears, it's good. Random hard. Oh. Shambling Mound. Someone brought up Shambling Mounds yesterday, I think. We were finishing off our cave system stuff. See, a Shambling Mound actually looks really good. That's like a very viney thing. It could be like tree roots or something like that. You know, it's designed to look more like vines and stuff. But I'd go with a Shambling Mound. I think that's good. I think that's good. Let's do Shambling Mounds. Hopefully they're not at that awkward. Okay, yeah, we can do 3 of them for a hard battle. This is a hard battle. Shambling Mounds. Such a hard battle for them. Alright, let's do a deadly one. Winter wolves, I don't know. I'd go for the Shusuvas before I went for the winter wolves, truthfully. Oh, it's gonna be that like really difficult one though. Yeah. A werebear. Oh, we could do the werebears. We haven't done them. We've had werewolves and wereboars, but not werebears yet. Yeah, let's do 4 werebears. I like that. All right. We're on to our level 10s. We are just blasting through this today, even with me rambling about nonsense. Here we are just cruising through. And I'm all about it. Like I say, I'm starting to really get excited about doing all of like the dungeons and the campaign missions and stuff like that for this campaign. I'm getting excited about it. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm excited to really get into the meat and potatoes of what we're working on making here. So it's going to be fun to get these tables taken care of. Giant Spy, Ettercat, no. Grung Wildling, yeah, we'll do Grung Wildlings, why not? 7 of them are easy. Wildling. Giant hyenas. No. Giant apes, not quite. Giant harpies. Oh yeah. Don't forget our friends, the harpies. We've been using harpies. We'll throw in a few more of them. Why not? Alright, let's get our mediums going. Our mediums here. Not feeling any of those. Grung Elite Warriors. Yeah, for sure. There we go. Grung Elite Warrior. No, Ogre Spiritual. Invisible Stalker. Okay, yeah, what can we do with the Invisible Stalkers? 2 of them are medium. That's perfect. That's perfect. I had already agreed that we can do them. They're a little out there from what I had in mind, but just being like an air elemental, I'm okay with that. I think that fits okay. Giralon, what's that? Oh yeah, it's the giant extra-handed monkey. Not feeling it. A wood woad. Those are kind of like our yeah. They're our little Groot looking things, are in the same vein as them. Yeah, we'll do some wood woads. That seems appropriate. We need a. Okay, it's gonna be a hard, so we'll just bump up. It's too hard. It's too hard fighting 3 of them. 3 wood woads. We still need a medium though. Already got the invisible stalkers. Fuck off. Come on now. Give me something I can use. Shadow Mastiff Alphas. Why not? We can use them. We already have used them. They're appropriate for the setting we've determined. 7. Oh no, not right there. You fool. 7 Shadow Mastiff Alpha. One more hard and then one more deadly, and then how about that? We've got all of our random monster encounters figured out. Yeah, we'll do a Shambling Mound. We'll do some of those for the hard ones. For the hards, the hard difficulty. Yeah. Shambling Mound. And then, what will be our final one? What is going to be a deadly encounter here? Let's see here. How many invisible stalkers would be deadly? It's pushing our challenge a little bit high. Werewolves? Yeah, we'll do 8 werewolves. Why not? Like a whole pack of werewolves. That would actually be genuinely terrifying. I mean, just 1 would be terrifying, but imagine 8 of them. Even with a sizable party, that would be a horrifying experience. So I think that's great. And I think that gives us our last combat encounter for our forest tables. And I actually feel really good about that. I'm really pleased with the progress that we made today. I think this is great. I think this is a lot of great work we've done today. So let's go ahead. And now we can go ahead and do our copy of it and then paste it down there. So that way we've got all of our things for our day and night stuff. So hell yeah. Go team. Look at that progress. That's really good. That's really, really good. Okay, so for our daytime stuff, let's get some of our just like standard stuff that we got to take care of. So 4 no encounters for daytime, and then nighttime it's 3, I believe. Yep, so 4 for daytime, 3 for nighttime. So let's go ahead and get those filled in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, yep, there it goes. That's why I gotta go nice and slow with doing it, which is a real pain. I really wish I could just get myself a nice fast rhythm with it. I guess this is going okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of the size of the notebook at this point that OneNote goes kind of slow, but OneNote is not particularly snappy about table copying and pasting. One of the minor drawbacks of using this system, which is really, as far as things go, pretty inconsequential. So I guess what I'm saying is I still don't really have any major complaints about using OneNote for my campaign management. Oh boy. Oh boy, the afternoon sleepies are coming for me. They are coming for me, man. Oops, dang it, I did it wrong. I done goofed it. I done goofed it. There we go. Yeah, boy oh boy. That yawn hit me like a truck right there, and suddenly I'm feeling the like I say, the afternoon sleepies. It's just a pain. I'm actually not a big fan of that. So I always feel like I'm either useless or I take a nap, in which case I'm also useless. You know, because I'm either sitting there trying to stay awake or having given up and fall asleep. So 2 for daytime, 1 for nighttime of the NPC, the potential NPC encounters. Oh shoot, that's the nighttime one. Dang it, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, well, we might as well finish this one. I already started it, might as well finish it. Oops. Oh man, there's another yawn. Damn, afternoon sleepies are coming for me, man. They're coming for me. It's terrible. Okay, so there's our NPC ones. Player character visions can happen, so 2 per day. Or wait, no, that's nighttime. Wait, hold on. What is it? 1 per day, 2 per nighttime. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. So the day one is easy because we just go over and over with it. That, and then this one is the one. This one gets kind of tricky because you have to remember to do them 2 rows at a time. No, what on earth? Why would you do that? I did not. I clicked on this one down here. There we go. Can't believe you've done this. Balance these out here. Something satisfying about seeing all of these squares sort of round themselves off and level themselves out based on how much text is in any given cell. I think that's awesome. It's a simple thing to be amused by, but I think it's great. I think it's super cool. Okay, so there's that. And then we just gotta do our magical events. Oh, excuse me, for the nighttime and 3 in the daytime. So that's great. Alright, and yeah, we got a half hour. We got a half hour still of stuff to work on, or time to work on stuff, which is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome we made this much progress in only an hour and a half. It usually takes me like a full 2 hours to get halfway through this much stuff. So, this is great. This is great progress. I dig it. Definitely dig it. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get to work on some magical events, right? That's the second to last step. The last step is always doing the treasures. Actually, you know, I kind of want to do the treasures right now. Let's do the treasures right now, so that way we just don't have to worry about it. This is a good amount of time to do it. It won't even take all of the time, I don't think. So instead of this one, let's do our loot gen here. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's just do this. So that way it can be done, and we can just kind of move on. I think that's excellent. Horde, let's roll our loot. Oh wow, it's a good horde there. All right, treasure here, 129 GP, 6. 10 GP gemstones. Man, oh man, they're giving a lot of magical items here. Acid Splash. Armor of Agathis. And Ray of Sickness. Okay, so let's do. So we got 2 Potion of Healing. 2 Potion of Healing. Acid Splash Scroll. Armor of Agathis Scroll. Spell Agathis right? Agathis. Yep, yeah, I got it right. It just doesn't recognize his name. That's fine. Ray of Sickness Scroll. Boom. Alright. Let's get another treasure going here. 194. First treasure. 194 gold. And then we've got 825 GP. GP artworks. And that's it for that one. Easy enough. Alright, and so now this next one. 218 GP. And then 725 gold artworks. 725 GP artworks. Go. Alright, 166 gold. 425 gold artworks. And then another one with lots of, wow, there's really kind of going all or nothing here. Alright, so it's already, alright, so it already got them all rolled out this time. And there's only 1 potion of healing and 1 potion of climbing. Alright, this is going to be a long one. Potion of healing. Potion of climbing. Expeditious retreat. Scroll. Yeah. Resistance scroll, and then encode thoughts scroll. Ooh, that's a good one. Code thoughts scroll. Boom. I love it. Level 5. We got 1 more. This level of treasure discovery here. That's 153. Gold, as well as 850 GP gemstones. Let's slide ourselves over here so we can see everything else we're finishing up. Treasure. Next, the difficulty there. Yeah, it's so funny how fast the amount of gold that you get from a horde based on the random tables jumps. It's quite a big boost, but it's fine. It's no big deal. 3306 gold. 14. Wow, 1450 GP gemstones. Check items. So 2 potions of superior healing. Superior healing. Staggering scroll. Scroll, and then a folding boat. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. Like, how small does it fold down? Who would make this folding boat? Does it stay... Oh, excuse me. Does it stay, like, properly sealed? This object appears as a wooden box that measures 12 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 6 inches deep. Weighs 4 pounds and floats. Can be opened to store items inside. This item also has 3 command words. One command word causes the box to unfold into a boat. Second command causes the box to unfold into a ship. Third command word causes the folding boat to fold back into a box. That's really weird. That's a cool item. I've never been aware of that before. I've never come across that one. That's a really weird one. It almost feels like it'd be overpowered in some ways. But I don't know. I'll allow it. Why not? It's interesting. Okay, so we got 3606 gold. 325 artworks. Alchemy jug. Dust of disappearance. Lantern of revealing. And a bag of holding. Like the idea of the bag of holding being one that excuse me, one that once belonged to someone and they have no idea what's in it, so they can just like randomly open it and pull out random items, and they have no idea what it is. It's just something that they can do, and it's like roll on a magic, like on a wild magic table or something. So that it's like they might pull out something really cool, they might pull out something really dangerous, they might cut themselves, who knows? And you just have it be like a random thing that players do to try and gather what's in there, and just have it be virtually empty. Because that's kind of what the bags of holding are supposed to be anyway. Excuse me. Goodness gracious, like I say, I got the afternoon sleepies hitting me here. 4007 GP. 1500 GP. Oops, GP gemstones. Oops. Dang. There we go, that's what we're looking for. Find greater steed. That's an interesting one. So, potion of gaseous form. Potion of diminution. Interesting. Okay, diminution. I don't know. Find greater steed. Scroll. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh my gosh, my head is getting super foggy. I'm getting those afternoon sleepies. I might have to take like a bit of a break. I might break sooner. Maybe once we finish the treasures, I might think about breaking before doing my gaming stream today. Because I'm feeling loopy right now. I feel like I might need a little bit extra to get my energies up here. Okay, that's 3208 GP. 3x 250 GP. Artworks. And then oh god, excuse me. Okay, +1 ammunition. Why not? I think that's an interesting idea. I like that. Treasure. Okay, last one. Dang it! It does this thing. It always does that. So you gotta go like this, go back, and then do the enter so you can add the bullets, and then come back over here. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Yeesh. Oy vey. Alright, Give me one more. 4004. Gold. 12. Let's see. Yeah. 12. 50. GP gemstones. And then, ooh, a bag of tricks. Yeah, I like that. I like the bag of tricks. That's a fun one. Boom. All right, there we go. There we go. That's good. That is some good progress. That is some good progress, team. Now we just got to do our random magic events, and we can do that. We can start doing that next time. But yeah, I'm gonna end a little early on the writing stream today. Audience is pretty small today, so hopefully I'm not upsetting too many people out there. Too many lurkers sitting and viewing. But yeah, I'm gonna end the writing there just because I think it's a really good stopping point, and because clearly I'm like falling apart here. I need a minute to collect myself. But I will be back in. I usually say it starts at 1:30, but it kind of depends on when the writing stream ends. Give me like maybe 20 minutes. 1:30. We'll say between like my time, Eastern time, 1:30 and 1:40 or something like that. Give me like 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. Just get a break, kind of get myself all re-energized for video game streaming. Take care of maybe a couple emails for work and stuff like that. But I will be back. I will be back as has been my habit lately. I really like the schedule of doing 2 streams kind of back to back like that. I think it is a fun way to get some good stream hours in. It gets a lot of good content out there. It gives people plenty of time to kind of come in and watch if that's what they're doing. But yeah, so anyone who stopped by for the writing here, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Anyone who's watching the VOD after the fact, I also appreciate you. Yeah, like I say, writing streams the rest of this week are kind of up in the air. It's kind of a question mark. I'm hoping to be able to stream on Thursday, but I don't know. I have stuff. Well, the issue for me is I have stuff that's going to keep me busy starting Thursday evening. So there, on the surface, shouldn't be anything getting in the way. But in order to prep for the weekend, that starts Thursday evening for me because I got stuff going on this weekend. I'm going to be out of town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is what's happening. So I definitely won't be able to stream Friday or Saturday like I would normally try to. Hopefully next week we can get back to like a full week of streaming. We'll see what happens. Summer's busy. But that's kind of what the deal is. So Thursday, there's nothing schedule-wise in the way of streaming on Thursday. But in terms of just being prepared for the weekend, I might have to, prioritize my time. So I'm going to do my best to be on Thursday, no promises. So if that's the case, thank you for joining me for the 2 streams this week. I appreciate it, and I promise I will be back next week. We'll be doing some fun stuff next week. And when I say fun stuff, I mean continuing to write like always. That will definitely be happening next week. So hopefully see you Thursday for writing if that's what you're into, or if you're wanting to watch the games, I'll see you in like 20 minutes here. When I come back for that, and that'll be good too. Yeah, if you're sticking around, we'll see you soon. If not, take care of yourselves, and maybe I'll see you next week if I don't see you later this week. Either way, I'm excited to be able to hang out with you guys again. It's always fun. I do really like the streaming. I love the writing stream. I love how creative people are. I love sharing ideas and stuff. It's all so much fun. It's all just so much fun to me. So I appreciate the support. It means a lot to me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. And I will see you guys. I will see you shortly. I will be back on shortly. So, but yeah, for now, let's end the stream. It's going to end right now.